Good evening, Aditi. Can you hear me, Aditi? Okay. Good evening. Let us wait for other people.
First Brooklyn.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How you wrote your exam? How do organisms reproduce? All of you have written the exam? Please answer me. Have all of you written the exam?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So how you wrote your exam?
Fine, ma'am.
Okay. We'll discuss the paper. So, shall we have life process multiple choice question exam again
Okay, ma'am.
for your first term preparation? We will cover in detail multiple choice questions. At what date we will have?
Next,
In September, shall we have first round?
Okay, ma'am.
One of you tell me the date.
Fourth,
Okay, September 3rd, only multiple choice. Objective only. Okay, to everyone? Tell me.
okay, ma'am.
You are only telling, remaining are not telling. Aditi, Pooja, Janvi, Durlab, Arman, Amrita, Akshita, Vaishnavi just joined. It's okay to all of you. September 3rd, shall we have live process objective type exam?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then I inform academy, they will let you all know. On September 3rd, it will be multiple choice live process exam. Okay then. Okay, let us discuss the paper today first. You are going to tell me, can all of you see the paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now tell me the answers. The development of a seedling from embryo under appropriate condition is called what?
Germination.
Yes. The site of fertilization, I'll be asking the name. You, those people only let me know. Site of fertilization in mammals, Aditi. If you are, what it is, Aditi? Site of fertilization. If you are not audible to me, you can type in the message. Aditi. Site of fertilization in mammals is type in the chat box, Aditi. Yes, correct. Fallopian tubule. Which of the following have buds on their leaves as vegetative reproducing structures? Amrita. Answer the question.
Bryophyllum, ma'am.
Yes, correct. Semiferous tubules are composed of Arman. Arman. Semiferous tubules are composed of dash. Arman, are you there? Arman, switch on your video. Switch on your video, Arman. Yes, Arman, it is germinal epithelium. Correct. Next one. Copious glands are found in Akshita. Akshita?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Copious glands are found in
Female mammal.
female or male? Anybody can answer this.
Male mammals.
Male mammals. Okay, copy glands are present in male mammals. Actually, this is little bit what we did not discuss in the class, but it has been asked once or twice as the fill in the blank. So I have just given you all. So usually these copy glands are present in the in the sacs of the prostate sacs of the male reproductive organs. Okay, so they are present in the male mammals. Okay. Next, the diagram that shows the cross section to the carpel of the flower is just before fertilization. Where will be the male and female gametes be present just before the fertilization? Durlav?
Ma'am, did you call me?
Durlav, I did not hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, option D.
Option D. Anybody? No. Not even option A, Atman. What is one here in the diagram? What is the one indicates? Answer, anyone answer. You can answer. Huh? I did not, I'm not able to hear you people. Once again, repeat.
Is one answer, ma'am?
Answer not. First one, what is one indicates? What is the one part over here? Huh? No, I cannot hear you, Sanyu. Any, be clear, be clear. What does the one part indicates? One part indicates stigma, styla, what? What does one part indicates? One first part is where the one is there. I'm putting the arrow. What is that one? All of you, anybody can answer me. Let us not waste time. What is this first part? Stigma. What is the second part? Style or pollen tube. What is the third part? Ovules, where the egg is present. What is the fourth part? Fourth part is the, actually it's the pollen tube only coming, it's a covering of the ovules. Okay, fifth part is the other side of the pollen. I have told you, middle contains the polar nucleus, where the other part contains another 3 nuclei. Okay, that is the fifth part. So where will be the egg and the male gametes? Usually just before fertilization, the egg and the male gametes. First, the egg will be the male gametes will be in the second. Okay, whereas the females usually, or wait a minute, let us be more clear. Yeah, first who told third and fifth? 3 and 5. Who told it?
Ma'am, I had told you.
Yeah, it's correct. 3 is the end, nothing but the end of the pollen tube, whereas the fifth is the where the polar nuclei stays. So this 3 and 5 is the correct option. Means the option D is the correct option. Understood? So here at this end, the X will be there. In the middle, there will be polar nuclei. Because of this fusion, we call it as a double fertilization. Have you got it? Next one. The vegetative reproduction in the sweet potato is done by Harita.
Yes, ma'am. I said the answer.
Is done by. I did not hear you, Harita. Again, repeat, no? Please, can you repeat? Harita?
Ma'am,
Or you can give me a chart answer also, no problem.
am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Ma'am, I said root, ma'am.
Yes, root is the correct answer. C, sweet potato is by root. C is the option. Next one, 8th one, Pooja. Which among the following does not reproduce by spore formation? Penicillium fungus, yeast fungus, mucor fungus, rhizophus fungus.
Yeast fungus.
Yes, yeast. Remaining all are proper fungus, whereas yeast is not completely a fungus. So yeast is the correct option. B is the correct option. Next, 9th one. Ovulation in female human being stops after the age of. Who should I ask? Vaishnavi.
Ma'am, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you, Vaishnavi.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, 9th question, ma'am.
Yes, 9th question.
Ma'am, 45 to 50 years, ma'am.
Yes, correct. 45 to 50 years. Next, Sanyu. Future shoot hidden in a seed is called. Sanyu. Future shoot hidden in a seed is called. What it is called? Sanyu.
Ma'am, now can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You please tell me.
Plumule. Plumule.
Spell it properly.
Plumule.
Yes, Plumule. Next one, last question. Who will answer? Pooja, shall you answer? During the birth process, the pituitary hormone that causes uterine contraction is what it is?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Huh?
Ma'am, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin. Can you spell it?
OXYTOCIN.
Yes. Last question, Durlab, you will answer it. Vasectomy is a surgical method or a birth control. In vasectomy, a small portion of oviduct is cut or tied properly.
Option A, ma'am, both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion.
Yes, true, correct. Because vasectomy is a surgical method and it is used for the birth control. And in vasectomy is mostly done in whom? Males or females? One minute. So vasectomy, your answer is wrong. Vasectomy is males or females? Durlab.
Males, ma'am.
And oviduct is present in?
Females, ma'am.
So your answer is no?
Ma'am, option C.
Option?
Ma'am, option C, ma'am.
Option C. Please remember, vasectomy is done in males. Okay? Vasectomy is done in the males. Their urethras are tight so that the sperms are not released outside. Whereas in the question here they told in the reason in vasectomy, small portion of oviduct is cut or tied properly. So oviduct is present in the females. Oviduct is nothing but the fallopian tubule. So here the assertion is correct. Vasectomy is a surgical method or a birth control. But reason is wrong. Because in vasectomy, oviduct is not tied or cutted properly. Okay, here urethra plays an important role where they prevent the stopping the passage of the sperms. So they will tie the urethras. Whereas in tubectomy, oviduct is cut and closed. So don't be confused. So here the answer is assertion is true, but reason is false. Next, coming to the 3 marks questions. I think so all of you have talked about, written very well about it. So just fastly we'll be discussing about them. The chromosomal number of the sexually producing parents and their offspring is same. Justify this statement. Anybody can tell fast. Amrita, what you wrote?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me fast?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Germ cells undergo meiotic division so that they become from 46 to 23, and they fuse in the process of fertilization and form zygote, which is 46 chromosomes.
So they are maintained both because of germ cells are maintained in haploid state, both the parents and the offsprings have the same chromosomal number. Next one. What happens when the following situations are initiated? Aditi, a planaria is cut into 3 different pieces. What will happen? Aditi? Yeah, please get the answer, Aditi. Yes, correct. When the planaria is cut into 3 different pieces, a process of regeneration takes place, and each piece grows and develops into a new organism. It's correct, Aditi. Please, from next time onwards, try to use your mic. Okay? But just get it repaired. The leaf of the bryophyllum with the notches falls on the soil. What will happen, Arman? Arman? Arman, are you there? You're taking very long, Arman, whenever I'm asking the question. Amrita,
Yes, ma'am.
please answer the remaining questions. Leaf of the bryophyllum will with notches falls on the soil. What will happen?
Ma'am, it forms a new plant, ma'am.
It grows back into a new plant. Testosterone is released in the male reproductive system. What will happen? Amrita, you want to continue?
Ma'am, testosterone helps in the development of secondary sexual organs in males.
Yes. And you can also write the list of secondary sexual characters. Okay, not organs.
Okay, ma'am.
So these all I'm not discussing. Distinguish between the unisexual and the bisexual flowers. I think so all of you know it. And also few people have kept me the, who is that one who kept me the hibiscus flower photo?
Me, ma'am.
Yeah, I really liked it. You can also share that picture to all of them. What is stamens? You can label what is a stamen and what are the carpels. Okay.
Ma'am, next class I'll show it, ma'am.
Okay. What is the function of the copper T used by some women? What is its function? It's mainly used in the prevention of surgery. Copper T is also known as what? It is also known as anybody can answer. IUCD. IUCD means What is IUCD? Durlabh.
Ma'am, intrauterine device.
Huh?
Ma'am, intrauterine contraceptive
Intrauterine
device.
device.
Yes, intrauterine contraceptive. D means
Device.
yes. Next, what variations that confirm an advantage? This is about the variations questions which I have given you in the PPT. The same thing you need to write over here. Okay. In human beings, what is the role of seminal vesicles? Prostate gland. Both of them are used to produce the fluid-like substance known as semen, and both of them, one is used in the nourishment of the sperms, one is used in the helps in the floating of the sperms. Okay. List two functions performed by the testes in the human beings. What are the two functions? First one is they secrete the sperms. Second one is they secretes the hormone. What is the hormone?
Testosterone.
Testosterone. Okay. Explain the terms. Implantation. What is implantation? Anybody can answer.
Ma'am, implantation or embedding of a fertilized egg, which is the embryo into the thick wall of the uterus. Ma'am.
Yes.
It is the process of embedding.
Yes. Embedding of the embryo into the uterus is known as implantation, which further will be growing to form a fetus. What is a placenta?
Ma'am, it is the connection between the embryo and the mother. Ma'am.
Yes. And how it is? It is a disc-like structure connected between the mother and the offspring of fetus. And what is its function? It provides.
Ma'am, it helps in respiration, nutrition, nourishment, and waste disposal in the body.
Yes. Next, Durlabh, what is the average duration of a human pregnancy?
9 months.
Yes. So this B, I forgot to write a flower. I think so. All of you wrote it.
Yes.
So this contraceptive methods means all the contraceptive methods. That is whatever we discussed: mechanical barriers, surgical, physical, all the whatever methods, whatever we have discussed, you need to write, because it's a 5 marks question. Hope all of you have wrote. Okay, I did not got your paper still. Once I get it, I'll correct and send you all back.
Ma'am, I did not write one B, ma'am.
What, ma?
I did write one B, ma'am.
I did not got you, Sanyu.
One B question I did write, ma'am. I left it as it is.
Okay, no problem. No problem. I'll give you the mark because the fault is with me. No, I'll give whoever did not write it, I'll give you the mark. Okay, shall we start the new chapter?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll start with our environment. So once we finish the chapters, we can go for detailed revision for your boards. So we'll finish off the last remaining chapters. So our environment, it's a very easy chapter. So all of this you must be studying from your 6th, 7th standard only. Small revision, like only these chapters are. The last 2 chapters are. So first we'll discuss what are the waste. Okay. So whatever we human beings throw is regarded as the waste. The waste can be whatever we throw outside, either in dustbins or on our in the house, whatever the waste we throw, or whatever the anything. It can be a house waste or industrial waste or whatever waste, we could regard it as the waste. And some of the waste may affect the environment, some of the waste may not be affecting the environment. Based on that, they have classified the waste into 2 categories: biodegradable waste and the non-biodegradable waste. Okay. Biodegradable waste. This is a small introduction for the our environmental chapter, where first we will be talking about the waste which we human beings have created and thrown into the environment. Okay. Then we will go in detail about the different about the different abiotic and other factors. Okay. So coming to this, as I told you, whatever we throw in the by our human beings, it can be a household waste, it can be an industrial waste, it can be a simple chemical waste. Whatever we throw, we regarded it as the waste. And some of the waste, as you people know, it can be affecting the environment, and some may not be affecting the environment. So what are the two different ways we have? When we classify them, they are of two types: biodegradable waste and the non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste means the waste which are decomposed into harmless substance by the microorganisms. So all the house waste, most of our house waste is a biodegradable waste. Vegetable, all the agricultural waste we get, or any or farm waste, whatever the waste we got, mostly are biodegradable waste. For example, you can see the examples over here: vegetables, fruits, pulses, cereals, cotton, jute, wool, wood, leather. All these can be in slow process, can be degraded in years of time. Whereas there is some waste which we call it even as the man-made waste. So these waste which cannot be decomposed by the microorganisms. Okay, these non-biodegradable waste are also known as the man-made waste. So they cannot be decomposed by the microorganisms. They stay in the environment. They cannot be removed, or they cannot be degraded, or they cannot be, some of them cannot be even reused. Okay, such a waste are known as not biodegradable waste. Those are polythene, plastic, synthetic fiber, glass, metals, rubber, insecticides, pesticides. All these are considered as a non-biodegradable waste. Now, all of you, can you tell me few examples of non-biodegradable waste and biodegradable waste in your daily lives, whatever you use?
Ma'am, vegetable waste for biodegradable waste
Yes,
and
any more?
plastic for non-biodegradable waste.
No, I want items, not general. All of you tell me one by one. Harita, you finish, remaining all people, you please tell. Again, I should call your names, or you will. Sanyus, let us start with you.
Ma'am,
One example for biodegradable waste.
vegetables, clothes,
Any
paper,
item, I
cotton.
want item, not general. What you use in your daily life, anything.
Tissue.
Huh?
Tissue paper, clothes,
Okay, clothes. Non-biodegradable.
plastic,
What plastic?
pen,
Huh?
pen, glass,
Glass. Okay. Next, Akshita.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you give me example. Don't repeat what others told.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, biodegradable waste is food, ma'am.
Food, yeah. Non-biodegradable.
Phone, ma'am.
Huh?
Phone, cell phone.
Cell phone, yes, correct. Electronic gadgets. Correct. Amrita?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Biodegradable, ma'am. Dried flowers.
Yes. Non-biodegradable.
Plastic.
What
Plastic.
plastic? What plastic?
Plastic covers, ma'am.
Covers means what covers, Nana? Some are degradable plastic also. What should be a plastic cover size, diameter? Big corporation has given, no? Only sell the plastic covers which are having this much of micrometer in size. What are those? What is the size? All of you find out next class. I'll ask you all this question. Okay. What type of plastic covers can we use? Okay, what is the size of the plastic covers that the shopkeeper can give us? Once you, all of you, Google and find out. Okay, so these are the different types of the plastic degradable and non-biodegradable waste. Rita, correct? Biscuit packets, use and throw packets, all these are correct. Medical waste, plastic bags, as correct. Plastic bags only, we have different sizes. Once please go through. Okay. So this is the difference between a biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. This is an important 3 marks question. Okay, because this chapter is not in objective. Okay, so we must focus most on the subjective of these chapters. Okay, so please note down the waste that are broken down naturally by microbial action is known as biodegradable waste. Whereas the waste that cannot be broken down by microbes are known as non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradation is always harmless and we don't get any non-poisonous products. Like if anybody are interested in gardening, we can usually we can make our own compost. Okay, by using whatever the vegetable waste we get, we mix with the soil and keep it for 60 days, we get our own manure or compost. So these are harmless and we can use it again as a fertilizer to the plants. Whereas non-biodegradable waste, no such action is possible. Means it cannot be biodegraded and always it may be harmful, and also if it's biodegradable also, it can produce lot of poisonous products. So these, where as I told you, the biodegradable waste, the raw materials can be taken back to the nature. Whereas non-biodegradable waste, they don't release any raw materials. What is raw material over here means, for example, leaves are there, the dead and decaying leaves. When we mix it with soil, what happens? They broke down into small parts, and after 60 or 70 days, when we see there will be no leaf left. They will be mixed up with the soils. Means the whatever the carbon, phosphorus, anything present in the leaf will be completely coming down into its natural elements. Whereas, for example, plastic is there. Plastic is made of polystyrene and all those compounds. Those compounds cannot be broken down. The polystyrene also has carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Those cannot be completely broken down and no raw materials will be released. Okay. Whereas next, coming to the next point of the biodegradable waste, they can pollute the environment only when it is produced in huge quantity. Okay. And beyond the capacity of the environment to degrade them, like our dump yards. For example, in our dump yards, what we have both the biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. If you go, when we are passing to the dump yard, how you feel? What do you observe? Tell any of you answer. when you are passing to a huge dump yard, what you feel, how you feel, or what you observe, what you feel. Anybody has passed through the dump yard? None of you? Or at least you went back to the van that collects this garbage when you're traveling? Stinky, yes, Harita, stinky. We feel we feel a bad smell or bad odor. Anybody have felt it? Or no? All of you are sterilized kids. From 1.5 years, all of you happily staying inside the 4 walls. Yeah? All of you now happily enjoying. No going to school, no going outside, always some online classes, online exams in front of TV. Yes, sir, all of you? How many went out in these days? This one also you are not answering me.
I went, ma'am.
Only Harita answers. Nobody wants to answer. All are tight-lipped kids. Anybody went outside? Anybody went to restaurant?
No, ma'am.
Why? So COVID.
Yes, ma'am.
From
Ma'am, but
September,
in restaurants
September 1st,
also
what
not
you will-
allowed, ma'am.
oh, September 1st, what you will do? Schools are reopening again.
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
we
We'll be
did not get
happy.
any message from our school till now, ma'am.
Hmm?
We did not get any message from our school, ma'am.
Because it's not confirmed, no. You'll
Yes,
get it, you'll get it. Be ready for the schools.
Ma'am, if
So-
they reopen, we will be happy, ma'am.
Yeah. Again, they'll close, don't worry. Now, all those now temporary only. Okay, so the environment. So the environment sometimes when there is a bulk waste, sometimes we may be when it is beyond the capacity of the environment to degrade it. Sometimes it may pollute the environment, like releasing the stinky smells, or even the land below will be polluted completely. The groundwater may be polluted. Whatever, if suppose your dump pad is always near the Kumon River or whatever it is, the water also will be polluted. If anybody have gone towards the Adyar, Gandhinagar, anybody have gone? You know about the St. Patrick's School or St. Michael's School will be there. If you go straight from the road where the McDonald's is there, if you go inside, there will be a school on that is the dead end. Actually, beside the school only, this Adyar river will be flowing, and the dump yard is just beside the river. So what will happen when such a huge dump yard is there? The river water will be, already it is polluted, it will be more polluted. So at that time, only there will be a pollution will be caused where when it's beyond the environment to degrade it. Whereas non-biodegradable waste, whether it is small quantity or big quantity, even that also will be causing a lot of contamination to the environment. So what can be the most harmful non-biodegradable waste is mostly the waste released from the industries, like power plant waste. When the power plants are coming, there is a lot of ash released. That is a non-biodegradable waste. And those will be directly released into our river waters. If you go to the Kumon River, anybody have gone? It's towards Velachery also, there is one river, I think so. Have you seen? If you stand beside the river, can you stand even for 5 minutes? Even this Adyar river also. If you go and stand, if you want, actually, if you go and stand on the bridge that is going towards the Mylapore area, no. If we go and stand near the sunset, it's a beautiful, but we cannot stand because it's having a lot of stinking smell. Because lot of it can be it can be a liquid waste, it can be a solid waste. All these are directly sewage waste. All these are directly released into our rivers. So most of them is non-biodegradable. They contain toxic elements, or it can be all the elements will be present. And this is what which is harming our groundwater also our river systems also. Okay. Next, bioconcentration does not occur. Next point, bioconcentration does not occur in biodegradable. Bioconcentration is also known as biomagnification. Please remember, we'll discuss this topic in detail in the end of this chapter only. Bioconcentration is also known as biomagnification. It does not occur in the biodegradable waste. I'll explain you later what is biomagnification. Whereas in non-biodegradable waste, this biomagnification enters, and it also enters into our food chains. Okay. Next, finally, all of us have studied about the 3 R's: reduce, recycle, reuse. Okay. Recycling is possible in the biodegradable waste, whereas recycling is possible only in few items of the non-biodegradable waste. Like, for example, plastic and glass can be recycled. They cannot be broken down, but they definitely can be recycled. Okay. So these are the differences between the biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. When they ask you for 3 marks question, please write all the points plus examples. 2 examples for each of them. Understood, all of you? Shall I move on to the next slide? Shall I move?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, coming to the next part of the topic, that is ecosystem and the environment. First, we'll see what is the definition of the environment. The combination of all the physical and biological conditions affecting the responses of living organisms is called as environment. We'll see what are the physical and biological conditions. Whereas what is ecosystem is an ecosystem consisting of all living organisms in an area along with the non-living components and their interactions is called as the ecosystem. Please wrote down both the definitions. So what is environment? Physical and biological conditions means physical conditions means environmental conditions. Okay, like temperature, all these will be considered as temperature, climate, all these will be considered as physical conditions. Whereas biological conditions means all the living organisms can be considering all the living conditions or living, all those will be considered as biological conditions. So these will be affecting the response of the living organism. So that is called as an environment. Whereas what is ecosystem is, ecosystem consists of all the living organisms in the area and their interactions with the non-living components. So if we see the figure over here, ecosystem can be classified into 2 types: natural ecosystem and man-made ecosystem. Okay, first we'll see, because you all know what is man-made ecosystem. Man-made means the ecosystem which we have made, like an aquarium. Aquarium, what it contains? It contains fishes, that is the living organisms. It contains all the artificial plants, some sand, soil, all that we have created it. in a small glass beaker. Okay, that is a man-made ecosystem. If you go to a larger one like crop fields, we have created the crop fields, the paddy field or wheat field, whatever it is, we have created it. Okay, this crop should be growing on this land. We cultivate those plants required for our food. So that is all called as man-made ecosystem or botanical gardens. Ooty Botanical Garden. It is a man-made ecosystem. Garden. Okay, garden is a man-made ecosystem. Parks, all these are the man-made ecosystem. Whereas coming to the natural ecosystem. Coming to the natural ecosystem, again it is classified into two types. Aquatic ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem. First we'll see terrestrial ecosystems. Terrestrial means what? It is a land ecosystem. Okay, example are forests, deserts, all these comes as a terrestrial, means it is naturally formed. Mountains, example Himalayas or forests, Nalamala forest, all these are the naturally formed one. So because they are of land, we call it as the terrestrial ecosystem. Next, again coming to the aquatic ecosystem. Aquatic ecosystem again can be classified into two types: marine ecosystem and freshwater ecosystem. Marine ecosystem is like seas, oceans. Okay, whereas freshwater ecosystem means rivers, lake, pond, pool. Okay, all these are called as this is between the aquatic and the terrestrial ecosystem. So can you give me examples of your locality where you are staying? One example for man-made and one example for natural. Anything from Chennai. In your city, wherever you're, not a locality, where your city, Chennai. Aditi, let us start with you. Ponds. Ponds means what? Natural or man-made?
Ma'am,
No
can you
ponds.
repeat the question again, ma'am?
Huh?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the question again, ma'am?
Examples of natural ecosystem and man-made ecosystem from Chennai.
From Chennai.
Aditi, ponds are not natural ecosystem. Small
Ma'am,
ponds.
Marina Beach in Baisul Nagar.
Huh?
Ma'am,
Lakes
Marina
also.
Beach.
Lakes, all the lakes are also not natural ecosystem. Rivers are natural ecosystem. Lakes, some lakes are not natural ecosystems because few are there which are natural, but most of the lakes are man-made ecosystem. Marina Beach, yes, natural ecosystem. Good. Any more? I want artificial, man-made more. Anybody can tell? Your school is a man-made or artificial?
Man-made, ma'am.
Yes, man-made. Roof gardens, yes. Roof gardens, what are those? Man-made or artificial?
Man-made.
Any more?
Ma'am, terrace garden.
Terrace garden, yes. Man-made ecosystem. Amrita, any more? Zoo. Yes, zoo, what it is? Man-made or artificial?
Artificial, ma'am.
Yes, artificial ecosystem. Hey, man-made, sorry, natural or man-made? Sorry.
Man-made, ma'am.
Yes, man-made ecosystem. Any more?
National parks, like any national park is an artificial ecosystem.
What, ma, Harita? I did not got you.
Gindi National Park, ma'am.
Did not got you. Be louder. Harita, I was not able to hear you. Be louder. Okay, it's Gindi National Park. Gindi National Park, man-made or artificial? Man-made, ma'am. Actually, it is a natural one. Later, it was converted to man-made one. Gindi National Park actually is a natural one. If you see the Chennai old pictures, no? Yes, they modified the forest. Actually, it is a natural one, but now you can call it as a man-made one. Because when you go through the old pictures of Chennai, 1817 or 1900 pictures, there are few pictures available. Go through the Google, you can see. If you see Adyar area where I am staying, or your Velacheri area, all field crops. And Gindi is in between these two areas, full of field crops. This whatever area I am staying is nothing but an agricultural land once upon a time. Chennai means only that railway station, Shaukarpat, Georgetown, that is the Chennai area. Okay. But later on, the city got extended, gone extending. Even we are going to reach in short while to Mahabalipuram also will be converted to Chennai area only. Okay. So all some as Gindi National Park is concerned, it is now a man-made, not artificial, natural ones, because they have we have captured most of it. So these are the components of the ecosystem. So now we have seen the types of ecosystem. When they ask you the types of ecosystem, you should write natural ecosystem, man-made ecosystem, and all this. I hope all of you have copied it. I'm moving on to the next one. Next, coming to the components of ecosystem. So in coming to the components of ecosystem, this is types of ecosystem, natural and man-made. Now coming to the components of ecosystem, again the ecosystem is divided into two components, broadly divided into two components, abiotic component and biotic component. Abiotic component means non-living component, that is air, water, land, the temperature, environmental factors, all these comes as the abiotic component. Humidity, all this comes as the abiotic component. Whereas biotic component, for example, plants, animals, all the living organisms comes as the biotic component. Okay. So coming to the biotic component, again they are divided into three types: producers, consumers, and decomposers. Producers means,
Mom, the ones who produce the food.
as example, agricultural, all the plants comes as the producers. Okay. All the plants will be coming as, all the green plants will be except few carnivorous plants. What are those? Anybody remember your 7th class book? Insectivorous plants.
It's a plant.
As fixture plant, all except those few plants, all the green plants are producers. Means they are produce the food. Next, coming to the consumers. Again, consumers are classified into herbivores, carnivores, parasites, omnivores. Okay, herbivores means those completely only depend on the green plants for their food. Example, cow, deer, or all those. And carnivores means those which depend on the herbivores for their food. Example, flesh-eating animals like lions, tiger, and we also, human beings, we are all carnivores. Next, parasites. Parasites means they live and feed on the host body, like plasmodium, like our ticks or lice which are present in our hair. All those are also can be considered as the parasites or ticks which we see on the hair of the dogs. If anybody have a dog, we can see ticks in the inside the hair of the dog. Anybody has dogs? Nobody answered general question also. That is the greatness of this class.
Mom, Durlab has, Mom, and I think Pooja also has.
Yes, lice which are present mostly in the hairs, those can be considered as parasite. Even the ticks which are present in the, generally we see the ticks in the hairs of animals. Okay, those which live and feed on the host system are known as parasite. Examples are the Plasmodium. Next one are the omnivores, where they depend both on the plant and as well as the flesh. Means both they depend on the plant food and as well as the flesh. That is a meat eaters. Examples, the best examples are crows. And we also can be coming as omnivores because we eat plant food as well as some of us they also eat non-vegetarian food. Okay, so we are also can be considered as omnivores. And finally, the other component in the biotic is decomposers. Decomposers are the last part of the pyramid where they will be decomposing whatever the food, the dead, example, the dead and the decaying or whatever is present will be decomposed by the decomposers. Mostly all the decomposers are the microorganisms. Examples are microorganisms. Here I was not able to write the examples of the producer. When you are copying down, please write the examples of the producers as green plants. For consumers, I have given examples. Whereas decompose, please write microorganisms, all microorganisms or fungi, anything you can write. In your textbook, there are examples. Please follow your textbook examples only. Once cross-check with your, we'll cross-check when we are going through, we'll cross-check the textbook examples also. If they whatever the examples they give in the textbook, let us follow only the textbook examples. Okay, all of you, have you copied it? Now, can you explain? I want to ask you, now I'll tell you, school also is one small type of a artificial ecosystem. Can you explain what is the biotic and abiotic component over there?
Mom, benches.
Yes.
Both are abiotic components, and
Yes.
biotic components are like teachers, students,
Mm.
plants.
Yes. And always it is affected by the environmental factors. Okay. Not non-living components means abiotic means not completely non-living. Air, water, all those also are abiotic components. Definitely you will be having air circulating, temperature will be there. Based on the temperature only we may be feeling hot or cold, and based on that we can switch on or switch off the fans. So this is also your school also can be considered as a small ecosystem, or niche we call it as. Small niche, N-I-C-H-E. Niche means a small ecosystem, small a part of the ecosystem. Okay, so not only we human beings, there will be big trees in your school compound. They are also considered as biotic components. There may be small ants. They are considered as biotic components. Okay, all these are considered as biotic components only. Okay. Whereas abiotic means air, water, plant, temperature, humidity, all these can be considered as the abiotic components. Able to understand till here? Any doubts? Here I have given you in detail. Again, with this we'll close the class. So please write down the definitions. Abiotic components. All the living, non-living components such as air, water, light, temperature forms the abiotic components. Coming to the biotic components, all living components such as plants, animals, bacteria, fungi form into a biotic component. And based on their nutrition, the biotic components, that is especially the they are divided into 4 categories. As we have discussed previously, based on what basis they have classified? They have classified based on the nutrition. So coming to the producers, all green plants and blue-green algae can produce their own food by using abiotic components, that is photosynthesis. Hence, they are called as producers. So examples for producers are green plants and blue-green algae. Whereas coming to the consumers, all the animals depend on producers for their food, because we cannot prepare our own food inside our body. Okay, we need to depend on the producers for their food. So based on this, herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, parasites are present. First, coming to the herbivores. Plant eaters, example, goat, deer. Carnivores, flesh eaters, tiger, crocodile, etc. Omnivores, people eat both plants and animals, example, human beings and crow. Parasites, which live on the body of the food and take the food from it, example, lice. In case of plants, it is cuscuta plant, etc. Next, decomposers. This is the definition for the decomposers. Includes organisms which can decompose the dead plants and animals and help in the relishment of the natural resources. Best examples are the bacteria and the fungi.
Okay.
So why are the decomposers very important? Although they are present in the last, we'll see what is a food chain. Although they are present at the end of the food chain, why they are very important? This is again an important. Previously, when there is a 2 marks question, they used to repeatedly ask this: what are decomposers and what is importance? So this they may be again combining with some other question and give you all nowadays. So we see what is the subjective pattern also, since we did not got it. So this is again a very important question. So what are decomposers and what is its importance? So decomposers help in the disposing of the waste and dead bodies of the plants and animals. So therefore what they do, they clean the environment, create space for the new generations of the organisms. Okay, and also what they do, they release minerals and other raw materials, again, which can be picked up by the plant and can be used to help in the maintaining the fertility of the soil. These decomposers, when they are degrading or decomposing the waste, they also produce acids, and this helps in solubilization of some minerals. Means like phosphorus and all those, usually they are not soluble. So since they produce some acids, these will be able to be solubilized. Means some elements cannot be soluble in water itself. For example, starch is there. Starch is not soluble in water. It is only soluble in hot water. Okay. So they will be producing some acids where the chemicals which are not soluble in water can be solubilized. Okay. Finally, help in recycling the materials in biosphere. So the process of life will be unending process. Because they were able to replenish the material nutrients. Again, the nutrients will be taken by green plants. Again, the herbivores will feed on green plants. Consumers will feed on herbivores. Like that, the chain goes on. Okay. So this is the very importance of the decomposers. Next, finally, So what is the abiotic components? As I told you, these are the non-living components. What are those? Physical environment completely, like soil, texture, topography, water, and air. These are known as adiabatic factors. Next, inorganic substance like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, water, phosphorus, sodium, potassium, all these are the minerals. These are called as inorganic substance. Organic substance like proteins, carbohydrate, lipids, all these are the part of the living bodies, and these are also considered as abiotic components. Next, climatic factors such as sunlight, temperature, pressure, humidity, moisture, rainfall, etc. All these are the nothing, whatever I have told, organic, inorganic substances, adiabatic factors like soil texture, topography, water, climatic factors, all these are the abiotic component examples. Shall I move on? This is the last one. With this, we'll close the class. So what are the functions of the ecosystem? Ecosystem indicates available solar energy and efficiency of the ecosystem to trap the same. It gives us the why these ecosystems are important, why we need to maintain the ecosystem. Okay, why it's important to maintain an ecosystem. For example, I told you a school as the example. School is an ecosystem. They maintain your records. What is there? How many plants are there? How many students are there per class? All these are maintained because we require the information. Based on all that only, they will be able to supply you all the water or whatever it is. Okay. Or your class strength, for example, your class strength is 50. If this information is available, what we can do, the number of chairs and benches will be arranged for you all. Whether you require a small room or big room can be decided. How many teachers should come to your class? Okay, how much water will be need to be provided to this class? Okay, oh, what is the space they take in the complete school? All this information for your understanding, I'm telling this one. In the same way, why the ecosystem is required? What are the functions? Why it is required? So ecosystem indicates the available solar energy and efficiency of the ecosystem to trap the same. So what is the solar energy present in that area? Means how much? For example, the solar energy in Chennai is different, whereas the solar energy, whatever the energy we get from the sun in Alaska or Antarctic is completely different. Am I right? Here we are a tropical, where that is a completely a cold desert. So the efficiency, based on the efficiency, how much this ecosystem that can trap the same can be calculated. It gives us the information of the available essential materials and their recycling periods. Means how these minerals will be recycled, how carbon can be recycled, how nitrogen can be recycled, which are present in the soil. It also provides us about the web of interaction, interrelations among the various populations, as well as between the population and the abiotic environment. Means what is this web of interactions? Means like food chains and food webs, which we'll be discussing in the next class. It helps us to tell the interactions, your interrelationships. Means, for example, your school is there. Okay, you are all in the 10th class. So how many classes are there? 5 classes are there. It also provides us which student from which classes studying well, how much he is, or what marks he is getting. Means he will be giving us the knowledge as your school classroom is giving. In the same way, the knowledge is provided by the ecosystem. What are the interaction? What is the interrelationship between them? And what is the relation between the population and the abiotic environment? That is by the climatic factors. And it also helps us to conserve the resources and protect from the pollution and maximize the productivity. means conservation of resources. Here means if our resources are getting depleted, it will give us an indicator. Suppose we'll see in further classes. For example, we know our fossil fuels are getting depleted. So with this, we'll be able to conserve our fossil fuels, help us to protect it for the future generations. So in the ecosystem, two process of energy flow and biochemical cycles proceed by side. So the energy flow is unidirectional while the movement of the nutrients is cyclic. This one I'll explain you all when we are talking about the energy flow and the about the nutrient flow, which will be talking in the food chains and the food webs in the form of a pyramids. This point I'll explain you all in the next class. Hope all of you have got it. Any doubts still here? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Harita, yes, dead organisms don't pile up. They multiply in number, but they mainly they are only microorganisms. They are present numerously. Many are present. But always they also have a life cycle, and always they will be they will be giving rise to new offsprings. Any more doubts? So with this, I'm closing the class. If you have any doubts, you can ask me or text me.
Ma'am, shall I share the picture?
Which one, ma?
Ma'am, that's Tema and pistol.
Yeah, please share the picture. Please,
Ma'am,
all of
shall
you
I-
see.
Shall I put it in the chat box, or will you give me the permission of sharing the screen?
You can, I'll give you the share. You can share, open yours and share it.
Okay, ma'am.
Show your video. All of you, all of them can see. Harita is showing.
Ma'am, like screen sharing is disabled for me, ma'am.
I cannot do that. One can be done by the academy only. You should only show as a video only.
Then can I attach it to the chat box?
One sent it to everyone.
Yes, ma'am, I'll send it to everyone once.
You send it to everyone then.
Yes.
Okay then. Okay then. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Ma'am, shall I share it?